I mean, what I was going to ask you was, sometimes when I've worked with poets, I mean, not that I put this priority on improvisation or what is or isn't improvisation, but, you know, like your form is determined, right?
Except in, the words are determined.
Yeah.
The lines are determined, but the form,
Phrasing and all.
yeah, that's how you can change it, like if you, how you phrase it and break it up.
Yeah.
And change the tempo or something,
Yeah.
and stuff like that. But yeah, no, I mean, it's not the same as if you were playing trombone and I was playing drums.
Yeah.
And we didn't have sheet music. You know, and there are very few poets that I think are good that I've heard just get up
And
and
improvise.
off the top of their head be able to, yeah, just go, you know.
Well, I mean, you're, yeah.
Without it being kind of like cliche.
You have a lot of form in what you're doing, is what it sounds like.
Form, yeah.
Yeah, you have a lot of form, like the way you're describing these syntaxes and how they
Right.
operate, you know, and how
Yeah.
there might be a lot lost in what you do.
I couldn't do what I do on the
Yeah,
page.
you couldn't make that up
I
or
couldn't
whatever.
make that up.
Yeah, yeah.
That's something from sitting down and writing. Yeah.
And you wouldn't want to cut it up, you know, like you would lose a lot if you did that too. Like if you took your work and you just accessed it freely and moved around.
Oh, I've done that. I have no problem.
That's okay.
I have no problem. I might even do some of that.
That might happen.
That might happen.
Yeah.
But what I mean was, I couldn't get up here with you, I don't think, and
yeah.
do a good job, like, you know, reading one line that I've written, and then
Going off from
and
that.
then riffing off of that for, you know, 10 minutes.
Sure.
Because that's not my skill.
Sure.
With
And
language.
you don't think there's too many people that do that?
I've heard 2 people that can do that. Julie Patton can do that pretty well. She'll use textual materials, but she's the kind of person that you can give her a newspaper, and she will turn scraps of that newspaper into poetry and music in the moment, because that's what she does. She's also a vocalist and a singer, and she's
See,
worked
I
with
wish
jazz
I-
artists her whole life.
I wish I had brought my CDs, because one of them is a collaboration with a guy who I work with, he's a trumpet player and electronic musician, but he's a rapper.
Yeah.
And we're not really idiomatically, we're not doing anything that has anything to do with rap, really, except that that's kind of his background.
Right.
But he can freestyle. Like,
Yeah.
he's a really good,
Yeah.
you know, freestyle, because he's a really good freestyle rapper, it just kind of
Yeah.
move over into
Yeah,
this.
well, that's a different, practice, and kind of genre of, you know, literature or literary art or something. But a lot of people cannot see. Certainly no hope of gain motivates it. It is a revolt against the tedium of the merely economic attitude toward the great blue wet world. We have half a mind to kill. Everything seems to go wrong. It isn't a question of practice. It's the removal of our surplus. Someone said, it's impossible, that you can't fit the whole world, that we can't place an initial experimental order that has no known experience of making the broken heart heal. Aeneas fights with Diomedes and Achilles in the Iliad and doesn't die. He may not be major, but he's a bit more than peripheral. Men seem to think it's a question of aesthetics. Nothing of the sort. Start Prince Edward Island or start here. Coal ash contains mercury, arsenic, lead, and other toxic chemicals. It piles up in massive quantities. Indiana makes same-sex marriage a felony punishable by prison. They are my words. Nobody asked me to write them. You are incinerating continuity and opportunity. You could step into a minefield without even knowing it. You could identify with the poor. There's a place for everyone. The resting place mobilized for pearl making, the fortunate fall. We see fling in fact, the stone which the builders refused, come to be the petty tyrant who makes our life hell, the vehicle. The cornerstone pushes against the spot where the bodies fell. Our semi-automatic has to fix this. Ring and reaction as reminder, the video of the choppy, the way time like corn syrup is lived in our world. A reminder of whatever you were doing, reminders of our breath, of your own roar. Helicopters and bombs bring you back to your true self, pushing against the spot where you fell. Repeat it, amplify it, develop it further. Hope it doesn't happen again. Feel guilty. The cold and the humidity goes out of tune, becomes lower in pitch, becomes the bow's weight. Detune the sub-basement even further, the harmonic blunder. Abstract color and pattern peppered with stories, otherworldly, microscopic, seeded by mistakes, the discovery of penicillin, the careless handling of a photographic plate, an alchemical core, an alterable piece. Nutcase boy throwing bonkers and blustery drizzle, a fistful of soggy aphids, a worm returned to soil. Go tell Hal to hang up. Go there to take an awful beating. Reserve 60,000 charming elevators. Lose track of gravity. Run across my globe an amputated sycamore, bled dry. Trawl for leaves, feasibly optioned. Duplicitous, my beck and call. Commensurate with fleece, too painfully for a century further than the next clipper. Give a soap watching a bunny hurt chunky Gnostic rings on money. Buy a comfortable place and lie low like herpes. Evolve in microwaves. Share if you like the sky.
that brown building right there?
Yeah.
That's the old Miner High School, and now it's a trucking company headquarters.
No windows.
No, there used to be. It's been completely. I mean, the structure is basically the same. But you can kind of see where windows used to be.
Oh yeah.
And that big empty spot there used to be the hardware store. That's where I used to go to rent movies. They had a wide selection.
At the hardware store?
The hardware store. Whole wall. They got the craziest shit. It was like a mixture of like B movies, softcore porn, horror films, and just like weird Hollywood stuff, like random, big budget Hollywood stuff.
And I take it this is the other apartment complex?
That's an apartment complex that is creepy as hell. There's these spiral staircases in there. I once had to deliver a paper to a building, to one of the apartments in there. And every day I would go there early in the morning. The door would be open, and the only thing that was in there was this buzzing red light. It was like a David Lynch film, and I would just like toss the paper in the door. And there was a bed in there, but I didn't see much furniture. I had no idea who was living there. And every day the paper from the previous day would be gone. Somebody had taken it.
Interesting that they have balconies and the grain elevator is their view.
Yeah, I was always jealous. I always wanted to live in there. And then that's the Miner Tap that caught fire a few
Oh
weeks
man,
ago.
I was gonna say, dude, we should totally get a bar at the local, a bar at the local beer.
Post office. When I was in 3rd grade, we decided to sneak into the old high school because when it didn't used to be a trucking company, it used to be just an abandoned high school. There was nothing going on in there. So we snuck in through a broken window. Some old lady saw us and alerted the police. We've been there for like 20 minutes just looking at all the old stuff, and I swear to God there was a banner advertising like high school prom from like 68 or something. And everything was just all these old objects, pretty much, And then we get out,
A lot of space.
and we stole a bunch of stuff and hid it. When we came out, we hid it underneath some sort of, I don't know, patio or something. And Jack Frost saw us coming out, and he came up to us, and he's like, started talking to us in this like really deep, serious voice. He's like, kids, you go into those old abandoned buildings, and people haven't been in there in years. There's all kinds of dangerous stuff in there. You could fall, split your stomach open, your guts could fall out. You could be holding your guts in your hands, you could die, you could bleed out. It's just a
You should
matter of
walk through
minutes.
it.
So don't go in there again. And he walked away. No, but there's a pickup truck. Oh. There's an adult there at Lawns.
The ground is really
Yeah.
The creator openly affirms the offensiveness of his product. It is designed as an affront to an entire belief structure, the business told us. Some dealers and their associates told him to disappear, that the sense of beauty overcomes every other consideration, or rather obliterates all consideration. 2 lovers commit suicide, and a cancer-ridden guest is deprived of his morphine. A sheep intended for an after-dinner skit is slaughtered for food, and a marauding bear crashes the party. Only one person, Sylvia Pinnell, holds the squat pen. The pen is let go by a fine, isolated verisimilitude caught from the penetralium of mystery, from being incapable of remaining content with half of its 6 chambers unloaded. All forms of media, without an irritable reaching after fact and reason, numb society's sensitivities and inhibitions to their weapons. The living have long feasted on the flesh of the dead. Today the tables are turned. It is the dead who require the flesh of the living to survive. The procession of the walking dead goes on dividing by similarity, occupying, betraying, or communicating the same body. Its bloodlust is beautiful. By leaving the sight of the living, we recall that we were looking at only one perspective of complaint, that of those undead. And that by looking at such persons, we bring them harm. Hence the weapons mentioned above. What is the relation between the dead that pursue the living and the life that is being pursued? Is its nature a dispute or disquisition? Is it an artificial elemental in a mortal condition? Do the dead turn their head when I pass? Do they harbor grudges in their remembrance of me? Is a zombie consumed with its unrelenting attack on organized religion, bourgeois values, and other targets? Do the undead possess the morality to shock? Are they of high importance for biodiversity, distinctive assemblages of plant and animal species? Are they important for landscapes that are otherwise settled? Aren't zombies capable of being in uncertainties, mysteries, doubts, without any irritable reading? Are they not large masses of fat, preserved and walking men and women of achievement? The cancer-ridden enjoy lamb with an expensive single malt. The walking dead develop as a layer, blanketing much of the landscape, including higher and remedial sheds. 2 lovers decay many meters deep in peat. Okay, zombies. The line of your body. As there is no end, no promises are made. As the media theorist Marshall McLuhan said, quote, there is absolutely no inevitability as long as there is a willingness to contemplate what is happening. There's still plenty of room for a deeper consideration of how to advance without leaving anyone behind. Coming into being or maturation is such a quiet progression that we tend to focus on the fruit and demand the infinite from the finite, a final authority over our own natures, the first deja vu. The molecules move lazily in the sentient mimesis. When there's a chance to escape, they won't leave. Some of the ways they seem to act, we really can't explain. At the periphery of any species, one's presence can deduce a lack of coordination between constraints of structure. But so what? When you look at the field, you see the problems of agency supported by the sophistication of upward mobility for offshoring, manufacturing, and professional services. A contrapuntal structure moves among several different lives to explore common themes. In its pregnant center, a slow, fast deindustrializing is in the bottle. But this poet doesn't worry. It places exchanges of linguistic information and emotion right in the middle of comportment, the landlord's property, for which I am charged an exorbitant rent. In time, the curtain edges grow light. Those with a taste, even a need, for an occasional inky cup of bitter honesty will lap it up. With enormous thoroughness, almost anything is ruined. As there is no end, the placebo is worse than effective. It's harmful. It diverts our interest, enthusiasm, and outrage until absorbed into black holes of affectation. No one can stop it. I have to make a comment. I never make comments when I read. But I just read that piece and I realized it's about what just happened in Syria. Jesus Christ. At bedtime, I tell stories about talking rabbit families, about witches and cabins in the woods, climbing mountains, walking through fields of corn, mixing unpronounceable situations with improbable names that tickled their imaginations. I made them as dramatic as possible. Around midnight, I scoop my girls up from their beds, carry them into the bathroom, and sit them on the toilet. After they finish their business, I pull their nightgowns down and carry them back to bed, then tuck them in. In the morning, up for breakfast, then brushing teeth, hair, picking out their clothes, and helping them get dressed. Holding hands on the way to school, hugs and kisses goodbye, and wishes for a wonderful day. Have fun. This is what happened in the dreams that I have. The majority of those who died were children, beautiful little kids between the ages of 5 and 10 years old, Obama said at the White House news briefing. He paused for several seconds to keep his composure as he teared up and wiped an eye. Nearby, 2 aides cried and held hands. Children: Charlotte Bacon, female, age 6. Daniel Barden, male, age 7. Olivia English, female, age 6. Josephine Gay, female, age 7. Anna N. Marquez Green, female, age 6. Dylan Hockley, male, age 6. Madeline F. Sue, female, age 6. Catherine V. Hubbard, female, age 6. Chase Kowalski, male, age 7. Jess Lewis, male, age 6. James Montioli, male, age 6. Grace McDonald, female, age 7.